Cool. Sorry about that. All right, good evening, everyone. I'll call this meeting to order. It's the April 24th, 2025 meeting of the Olentangy Board of Education. Mr. Jenkins, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Lester?
Here.
Dr. Dabrico?
Here.
Dr. Wallach?
Here.
Mr. O'Brien?
Here.
Ms. Schreiber?
Here.
All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the agenda's been distributed. I don't believe there are any edits to it. All right, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none. Mr. Jenkins?
Mr. Lester?
Yes.
Dr. Dabrico?
Yes.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber?
Yes.
All right, on to the board president's report. So these are always some of our favorite meetings of the year. It's just such a joy to recognize all of the amazing achievements of our students. You know, we have students that just do so many things so well, from academics and athletics and artistic achievements, and it's always great to take an opportunity to recognize that. But it's also great to recognize all of the work that goes into making sure that those achievements happen. Right? All of you in this room played a part in making sure that your students are able to get where they are today, whether it's taking them to practice or helping them study or any of the other various things that you do to help enable their success. So we want to thank all of you for your role in helping to make this district an amazing place to be, and certainly all of the students for all of the work that you've done to get to this point and beyond. So thank you. After the recognition ceremony, you are all free to stay for the rest of the board meeting. No one ever takes us up on that, but you are absolutely free to stay. But we will give you some time to head out and enjoy the beautiful weather if you want to do that after that. In terms of the board president's report, I want to just continue our discussion around the state budget, which has been a consistent theme throughout this year. For those of you that maybe don't pay as much attention to this or haven't seen it this year, every 2 years the state does its operating budget, where it goes through and decides what it's going to be funding for various public entities throughout the next 2 years. It's a long process. It starts with the governor, who goes through and sets out his set of funding priorities. And then it goes to the House, and then they do their version. It goes to the Senate, they do their version, then they have to come back together. It's government, right? It takes a long time. But it's really important for school districts like ours, because the amount of money that we get from the state, every dollar that we get from the state is one less dollar that we have to seek from the local community. Traditionally, districts like ours have not received a whole lot of money from the state, and you see that play out in having to seek levies and all of that sort of stuff that we've gone through for a long period of time. That's why it has been a very strong priority for this district to try to get as much as we possibly can in state funding and to advocate for all of the amazing things that are happening here to ensure that the legislature recognizes that and pays their fair share to support our schools, which again are essential to the success both of this area and the state. When the governor came out with his original funding priorities, we were happy to see that he wanted to continue the Fair School Funding Plan that was passed a couple of years ago, but we had some concerns because the data that he was using, or the cost sets, were outdated. And what that means is that we were going to be getting an artificially low amount, frankly, to the point of maybe what our funding was before the Fair School Funding Plan. And again, that puts the burden very heavily on the local community if that sort of funding plays out. After that, the budget went to the House. The House of Representatives acted very quickly in this case. Normally they take about a month or so. They acted in just a couple of weeks. Their version of the funding proposal had a little bit more than what the governor was providing, a small amount more, which any amount more we are always happy to see. But there was a provision called the clawback that would limit the amount of money that a school district could carry over from year to year in its operating budget. And of course, districts get money through levy cycles that come in, and then it sort of builds up, and then we use it down over time, and hopefully we stretch that as far as we can so that we're being efficient with our funds and we don't have to go back on the ballot as soon. This would take money that was already voted, the community already voted to support that, and send it to the schools, and take it back, take it away, and return it as a form of property tax relief. The problem with that is that it comes at the expense of school funding, and if we want to continue to have the operations of Olentangy schools as you know them, we have to then go back on the ballot immediately. And with some of these limitations, it becomes very, very hard to provide the level of services that we do on a regular basis. It would require us to basically go and have a series of micro levies every year or two just to stay afloat. And if we didn't do it, it would send the district into a state of what's called fiscal emergency, where the state can come in and drastically reduce the services that we provide to try to make sure that everything is functioning properly. That's not something that we're used to here in Olentangy because we've been recognized over and over again for our good fiscal management, including by the state. We've got a presentation tonight of yet another award on that. So it's something that's really important that the community looks at and starts to talk to representatives about it, because this clawback provision could have a very, very, very significant impact on Olentangy schools, and it could happen very, very quickly. The next step of the budget process, as we talked about, is it goes to the to the Senate. The Senate will look at it. They'll try to decide what they want to do, and then they've got to try to find a way forward based on their different visions of this. So we certainly hope that people review this, understand it, make whatever conclusions you're going to make from it, but then speak to your representatives and let them know what that impact might be on you as a taxpayer, on the community, and on the schools. We have a lot of resources on our website about this. We have a lot of resources that are in the mailers that we send out. But again, we just really encourage you to get up to speed on this. In a minute, we'll show a video by Mr. Jenkins as well that talks about this a little bit more fully. If you want to stay for the whole meeting, we'll talk about it even more. But this will certainly be the Cliff Notes version of it, so that we can make that clear for folks. Before we launch into that, we have a couple of committee updates. We had the Mental Health Committee meeting last week. We heard a presentation from a community group that's interested in safe storage of firearms, recognizing the impact that can play in mental health crises and other things like that, and wanted to talk about ways to promote the safe storage of firearms and discuss some opportunities to engage the community about that. We also heard from a student group that runs a program called Teens Supporting Teens, where they really work to help provide each other with support and understand the challenges that can come with being in a district like this, and making sure that we create an environment where everyone feels included and supported in everything that they do. So a lot of good work happening there. We'll continue to do that. I don't know if we have any other committee updates. We haven't had facilities yet, have we?
Not since the last
No,
board
not
meeting.
facility. We do have a Finance and Audit Committee meeting next week, which lets me remind people on your comments, we're not asking the state for money that's not ours. You send a dollar you send to the state, only 10 cents comes back to Delaware County. And we're just asking for our money to come back to help us educate our kids so we can stay off the ballot a little bit longer. And that's the committee meeting next week. It's open to the public. You're welcome to come to a Finance and Audit meeting. It's next Thursday at 6 p.m.
1800.
6 p.m. I thought that was an address. In the Berlin room at the administrative offices. So you're welcome to come and see how all of the things that he's going to talk about is drilled down into the budget.
Yeah, and if you have questions about it, feel free to reach out to any of us. We're always happy to talk about this. School funding can be a very, very complex topic, and it's not always easy to sort of get through it all. But if you have questions, please let us know. Any other committee updates? I think we're good. Okay, then Dustin, I think we've got the video by Mr. Jenkins.
Hello, this is your Olentangy Treasurer Ryan Jenkins with an update on state funding for Ohio's public schools. Appropriate state funding for Olentangy schools equals tax relief for our residents. Ohio's lawmakers are currently crafting the state budget for fiscal years 2026 and 2027. The next Ohio biennium budget will make the laws that define how the school funding formula works and will determine how much funding each Ohio school district receives. It is imperative that our lawmakers hear from Olentangy residents on what is needed to provide tax relief for our residents. As of April 2025, the Ohio House has passed the substitute version of Ohio House Bill 96, which contains the biennium budget. The bill will now be deliberated by the Senate. While there are aspects of the school funding formula in House Bill 96 that would benefit Olentangy residents, and in all gains made in state funding would be wiped out with the addition of a new Ohio Revised Code section 5705.316, commonly called the clawback. Clawback would be incredibly harmful to our district, as it would require the County Budget Commission and the county auditor to reduce Olentangy's levy collections to eliminate excess cash balance carryover beyond a 30% threshold. For Olentangy schools, this would lead to between a $90 to $100 million loss in levy collections for the 2025 pay 2026 tax year. And Olentangy would have to seek additional operating levies in small increments nearly every year moving forward. In Olentangy, we pride ourselves on fiscal responsibility and diligently save taxpayer dollars to accommodate growth, rising expenses, and unexpected costs like natural disasters. The clawback would dramatically reduce our reserves and have significant negative impacts on Olentangy schools and ultimately be detrimental to our students and community. It is imperative that the clawback provision is removed from the bill so that Olentangy schools does not experience a loss of previously approved funds, levies that have already been approved by our community to support our highly successful schools. According to current law, this loss in state funding would put our district in fiscal emergency beginning in the 2025-26 school year, and we would have to strongly consider cuts and financial reductions that will dramatically impact programming and classroom instruction. We urge all Olentangy constituents to join us in advocating for fair school funding for Olentangy schools. We have created template messages to send to key legislators to make your voice heard. These messages can be downloaded and personalized and either emailed or mailed so that our legislators hear from our district's residents about how important these issues are to our schools and community. Thank you for taking action to support Ohio's public schools and Olentangy. For more information, please contact me, your Olentangy treasurer, at Ryan_Jenkins@olsd.us.
Good. There we go. Okay, well, with that, then we'll move on to the main event here of the proceeding, or of the evening, which is our student staff recognition.
No pressure. Dustin, we good? Yes, we are. Tonight's meeting is a special one for us because it is the evening that we as a board get to recognize students and staff members for their outstanding achievements in co-curricular, extracurricular, and athletic activities. Many athletic and academic competitions are scheduled for later this spring, so we will recognize those accomplishments at a separate board meeting in June. We are very excited to celebrate some of our students, coaches, and advisors on their outstanding accomplishments this evening. As I announce your name, please walk to the stage and have your photo taken with Board President Brandon Lester and Superintendent Todd Meyer. These photos will be mailed to your home in a few weeks. For academics, earlier this school year, we had the honor of celebrating our district's National Merit semifinalists from all 4 district high schools. We are proud to announce that the following semifinalists, some of which are here tonight, obtained the rank of National Merit Finalist. Of the 1.6 million students that take the PST, approximately 8,000 students, or less than 1% of the eligible national student population, are named National Merit Finalists. From Olentangy Berlin High School, Adeline Bowen. Grace Heitkamp. John Peterson. From Olentangy High School, Pruthivi Adari. Sanjay Ganesan. Jacob Hirsch. Vahin Kakarla. Arya Trivedi. From Olentangy Liberty High School, Sharif Anani. Anushka Chaba. Ethan Grishop. Herschel Natala. Kason Parmer. Rishi Rajamani. From Olentangy Orange High School, Kushi Gagrani. Matt Wang. Matt Wong. My apologies. Congratulations to our National Merit semifinalists. We now turn to recognizing our phenomenal student athletes. Many students, teams, and coaches have received individual state-level honors in their sport this year. The board congratulates the following students. From Olentangy Berlin High School, Alejandro Aguilar, 2024 Offensive Co-Player of the Year, OCC Cardinal Division. Soleil Cordell, second place, Division I Singles, 2024 OHSAA Girls State Tennis Tournament. Tiana Estrada, OHSAA State Gymnastics, fourth place all-around, third place bar, sixth place beam. We're good? Aiden Eviston, 2024 Offensive Co-Player of the Year, OCC Cardinal Division. Tyler Klein, Swimming Championship, 500 Freestyle, sixth place. Coach Mark Norrie, 2024 OCC Cardinal Coach of the Year and OCC Champions in football. Claire Walden, 2024 Girls Soccer First Team All-State. From Olentangy High School, Evelyn Fitz, 4th place, 2025 Division I State Championship Diving. Coach Kyle Hamrick, Boys Soccer, 2024 District Champions and 2024 Regional Champions. Jody Hahn, Central District Girls Golf Player of the Year. Thomas Naylor, State Swimming Championship 200-yard freestyle relay, 7th place. Coach Calvin Higdon, Olentangy High School 2025 OHSAA State Tournament Girls Swimming, 10th place. Jake Piankowski, State Championship Wrestling, 3rd place, 157 pounds. Nick Piankowski, State Championship Wrestling, 7th place, 150 pounds. Coach Clark Ransom, 2025 Girls Basketball OCC Cardinal Division Coach of the Year. Matt Sagal, State Swimming Championship 200-yard freestyle relay, 7th place. Owen Thomas, OHSAA State Swimming Championship 200-yard freestyle relay, 7th place. Evan Tillman, State Swimming Championship 200-yard freestyle relay, 7th place. Coach Matt White, Olentangy High School Wrestling 2025 OHSAA State Championship, 10th place. Sawyer Wilbanks, Boys Soccer OCC Player of the Year and First Team All-Ohio. From Olentangy Liberty High School, Elena Aldrink, All-State Girls Cross Country. Maddox Byerly, State Swimming Championship 200-yard freestyle relay, 8th place. Lincoln Gardner, 2025 All-State Boys Wrestling, 165 pounds, OCC Central Wrestler of the Year. Andrew Leonard, OCC Player of the Year, District Offensive Player of the Year, First Team All-State Football. Carson Laurie, OHSAA State Swimming Championship 200-yard freestyle relay, 8th place. Reed McDaniel, 8th place OHSAA State Swimming Championship 200-yard freestyle relay. Coach Ryan Snively, runner-up Division I Boys State Golf Championship. Jake Struck, First Team All-State Ice Hockey, Greater Ohio Hockey League Player of the Year. Campbell Williams, All-State Swimming, 8th place, 100-yard butterfly, 8th place, 100-yard backstroke. From Olentangy Orange High School, Braden Allender, 2024 All-State Cross Country. Kenzie Carter, 2025 OHSAA State Championship Wrestling State runner-up, 120 pounds. Brooke Chapman, 2nd place 2024 OHSAA Girls State Cross Country Championship and First Team All-Ohio Foot Locker All-American. Tyler Colvert, 2024 boys soccer first team All-Ohio. Emma Cugino, girls volleyball first team All-Ohio Central District Player of the Year. Gavin Gaylor, 2025 boys wrestling OCC first team, 7th in state. Oh, great. Good to see you, Levi. Levi Davis, 2025 boys basketball first team. Gavin Gaylor, 2025 boys wrestling OCC first team, 7th in state. Oh, sorry. My bad. Lydia, I didn't do Lydia yet. No. Lydia Heinrich, OHSAA State Championship Wrestling, 3rd place at 170 pounds. Jenny Hiracha Arellanos, OHSAA State Championship Wrestling, 5th place at 235 pounds. Macy Medley, all OCC Central Division and all state gymnastics. Bella Indinga Mopapa, State Championship Wrestling 2025, 7th place at 130 pounds. Coach Brian Nicola, 2025 OHSAA State Champions, Girls Wrestling, District Champions, and State Dual Champions. Lexi Riley, 6th place OHSAA Championship Wrestling at 145 pounds. Trayton Schrader, 2024 First Team All-Ohio Football. Matthew Schroff, 2024 All-State Cross Country. Jacob Slack, 2025 Boys Wrestling OCC First Team and State Qualifier. Chloe Tompkins, OHSAA State Championship Wrestling, 4th place at 135 pounds. The board would like to celebrate the passion, discipline, and creativity of our district students and ensembles. Congratulations to the following for their excellence in the visual and performing arts. In the area of performance, from Olentangy Berlin High School, say that again. Perfect. Shay Manley, All-State Choir. From Olentangy High School, Lake Weeks, All-State Orchestra. The following students were named to the 2025 OMEA All-State Orchestra. Ethan Sia, Pratik Kanchala, Ben Kurian, Herschel Natala, Nathan Sanchez Zarcos, Receiving superior ratings at the State Orchestra OMEA adjudicated event, Director Jill Bixler and the Liberty High School Chamber Orchestra, Prelude Concert Orchestra, and Sinfona Orchestra. Receiving OMEA All-State Choir recognition, and here tonight is Tori Edwardson. Receiving OMEA All-State Choir recognition, Aletha Harjono. Samuel Harjono. Lila Urbanik. Abigail Wakeoff. Named to OMEA All-State Orchestra, and here this evening are Gideon Beal, Benjamin Whitehead, the following students received superior ratings in duet acting at the 2024 Ohio Thespies: Maddie Bolton, Natalie Deutschendorf, Nick Franklin, Alana Groves, named to the 2025 All-Ohio production of John Proctor as the villain were Orange High School students Preston Bronder, and Jonathan West. In the area of visual arts, from Olentangy Orange High School, Parker Schofield, 2025 Scholastic Silver Key National Award winner for digital art. From Olentangy High School, Haley McCrae, 2025 Scholastic Gold Key National Award winner in sculpture. That's it. Congratulations on behalf of the entire board. I'd like to once again applaud the many students, outstanding students and coaches and advisors recognized this evening. We are very proud of your accomplishments. I don't think you're hot yet.
All right, so we're back. All right, you guys stuck around. That's good. So, all right. All right, we will move on to our next presentation, which is the Auditor of State Award with Distinction presentation. So, Mr. Scott Brown, welcome to the stage.
I know you were worried about me falling into the pit. But I've done that before at my own high school and pits covered, so it's all right.
I said that. I said, we got to be careful, yeah.
I appreciate a few moments on your agenda this evening to really celebrate a job well done. My name is Scott Brown, and I serve as State Auditor Keith Faber's Central Ohio Liaison, or as the auditor would tell you if he was here, as your personal customer service representative. It's my honor to be here this evening on behalf of Auditor Faber to present the Auditor of State Award with distinction to the Olentangy School District. Each year, our office is responsible for conducting more than 4,200 audits of our 6,000 clients statewide. This award places your organization in a very select group, as just 4% qualify for this award. The Auditor of State Award is presented to local governments and school districts upon the completion of a financial audit that meet the following criteria defined as a clean audit report. The audit must file financial reports with the auditor's office by a statutory due date without extension on a GAAP accounting basis and prepare a comprehensive annual financial report. The audit report does not contain any findings for recovery, material citations, material weaknesses, significant deficiencies, uniform guidance findings, or other question costs. Breaking through the audit speak, I like to say, this award represents the hard work of all of Olentangy's staff and employees who make every effort each day to attain accounting excellence. We'd like to recognize the board, the administration, and the finance department that have done an outstanding job watching over every dollar. What this truly means is across your entire organization, you have the people and the processes in place that understand fiscal accountability. Specifically, we want to recognize Treasurer Ryan Jenkins for his leadership, his professionalism, and exceptional commitment to fiscal integrity. So on behalf of Auditor Faber, I would like to present the Olentangy Local School District, the Auditor of State Award with distinction. Congratulations. Please.
So I wanted to make sure that the people who were really responsible for this were here this evening, and luckily 7 out of 11 of them came. And so now they get to be introduced or / embarrassed, whichever way they might see this. Assistant Treasurer Tricia Heater, if you don't have to stand, I guess if you don't want to, but at least wave. Have them stand. Accounts Payable / Accounts Receivable Specialist Kristen Newman. Executive Assistant Christina Lyle. Payroll Supervisor, for lack of a better word, Leah Douglas. Payroll Accountant Amanda Burton. Payroll Specialist Megan Newman. And our Benefits Coordinator Susan Colson. A couple members couldn't be here this evening. Lori Zay, who is a budgetary specialist, Vicki Bober, who also works in accounts payable budgetary. Jennifer Glorioso is a accountant on the budgetary side, and then Madison Ratliff, another assistant treasurer. They couldn't be here, but no, I really, this staff right here tolerates me every day, which is probably worthy of an award. But they make sure that everything is done and it's done well. This award really belongs to the entire school district, though, from every single person in this entity that makes sure that we are accountable, we are transparent, and we are mindful of our taxpayers' resources. So very thankful to the Board of Education, to Mr. Meyer, and everyone for their efforts and truly making this a team award. So thank you very much. And now, my staff, you can go home.
There we are. Just a quick note. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for coming and presenting that. We always appreciate the attention that you all provide in this and the service that you all provide as public servants as well. And just so thankful for our entire Treasury team and Mr. Jenkins. You all are really just do amazing work. So thank you so much.
Hey, Susan, I know you're getting in extra steps, but hold on one second. Hold on one second, because I also want to congratulate Mr. Jenkins and the entire Treasury team. I mean, they are consummate professionals and serve over 3,000 employees, but many, many more with supplementals, and the work that they do for this district, for this community is remarkable. So congratulations, award well-deserved, and thank you for what you do to serve the organization. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you. So now Susan Lederman. All right.
All right, Mr. Meyer.
All right. Well, it was, nights like this where we're able to honor and recognize so many of our wonderful students, remarkable talent that we have across the district. So obviously, thanks to the Communications Department for organizing and coordinating tonight's recognitions, and obviously thank you to the Board of Education for continuing to support the mission of the district and all the great things that we do in the district. So first, I want to highlight Ben Curian, and actually I was trying to catch him because he received an award tonight, and he's remarkable. So he, for the third consecutive year, is winning a prize. So this year, he has won first prize in the annual C-SPAN documentary competition. So I'm going to read a little bit about what he produced. And if you haven't had the opportunity to see the video, watch the video. It's amazing. So C-SPAN Classroom Student Cam Video Documentary Contest is an annual national competition in which middle and high school students produce a documentary on a specific theme. Ben was one of more than 3,500 entrants in this year's competition. His 6-minute documentary highlights the National Vision Zero initiative, and it aims to eliminate traffic fatalities and severe injuries among all road users while increasing safe, healthy, equitable mobility. Ben's documentary features testimony and conversations with state and national leaders, as well as law enforcement agencies, highlighting the complexities of traffic safety. In his message to the president, Ben proposes that AI combined with science and data can be seen utilized strategy to help save lives on the road. His concept didn't only focus on autonomous vehicles. Ben also outlines how AI can improve car safety systems, driver awareness, and introduce smart highway technology, including variable speed limits based on congestion and other factors. We need him on Route 23 bad. Earlier this spring, Ben was invited to present his documentary at the International Bridge, Toll, and Turnpike Association's annual summit that was held in Dallas. So just want to congratulate him, and I know he's been at this for a few years, and I actually got to see him last year at Liberty Middle School. But congratulations to him in the work that he does. Also want to recognize our Business Advisory Council for this year. So, and I also want to recognize, and I don't know if she's here, our Assistant Director of Strategic Partnership, Molly Preston, because Molly has done is she still here? She was here earlier, but anyways, she has done a remarkable job the last 2 years of really taking on this Business Advisory Council and really defining its purpose. So our Business Advisory Council is comprised of business leaders that provide support and insight on educational and financial issues facing the district. So some examples of things that we've done this year. Instructional Tech, Make It Awesome project invited business partners to participate, which we had many participate with our students. OEF updates, multilingual updates, ways businesses can support EL students, as well as with pupil services, ways that the BAC can support students with disabilities, and then ongoing discussions on how the BAC can provide internships and job opportunities for students. And we've highlighted a lot of opportunities that we're providing through businesses and through the school district for our students, so they are a very important partner in the work that we do outside of our classrooms in that space. Also want to recognize, this is Ohio Health Career Fair, so Tammy Sensabaugh, who's a science teacher here, took a group of students to Ohio Health, and you can see they got to experience and speak with experts in many of the health-related fields there at Ohio Health. Also want to recognize, and sometimes we do so many great things in the district, so I have to get some information sometimes from community members, sometimes from staff members. Obviously, a lot goes through communications, but Ms. Schreiber actually tipped me off to this award from Olentangy High School. So I'd like to recognize the Olentangy High School Winter Guard, who was named the Scholastic Regional AA State Champion at the Ohio Indoor Performance Association State Championship. So want to congratulate them for their efforts, and we'll probably see them maybe here receiving an award in the summer in June. Also, again, always want to highlight our schools and the work they do for military families. So we have 22 of Olentangy schools received the Purple Star designation, with Berlin Middle School and Walnut Creek added to the list. And you can see 11 schools also renewed as their designation this year, as well as the others. So again, want to congratulate our staff in the efforts that they do in honoring and recognizing the military and our military families. All right, so district advocacy efforts. I just want to kind of summarize where we've been, what we've been doing, and obviously we have really important advocacy to continue at the State House. So way back in February, Mr. Jenkins and I gave testimony to the House Education Committee at the State House. We continually meet with legislators and have discussions with the legislators. So anyone who will listen to us and who is willing to talk, we want to talk with them to tell our story, our Olentangy story, and obviously the impact that the state budget has on Olentangy. Focused our April 11th, 2025 Board of Education update around the state funding clawback. Met with key communicators in the Communications Committee. Our Communications Department met with the Communications Committee to share about state funding clawback and to solicit guidance. So also we're getting feedback on how we can continue to amplify the message in the community. So that's really important for us. Shared template letters and phone script on our district webpage, and as we finish up our staff meetings across the district, and we had 2 today at our transportation centers, we continue to deliver this message to our staff as well. Posted the funding priorities image with a call to action on our social media pages, so I think that it's getting good traction. So people are paying attention, and we'll continue to do that. Treasurer Ryan Jenkins recorded a state funding updated video, which we all saw tonight. And you know, Ryan does a really good job of breaking it down into simple terms and communicating, you know, which is a complex topic, as Mr. Lester mentioned. But you know, Mr. Jenkins does an excellent job, so we're glad to have him continuing to do that. State funding update message sent to all staff on April 17th and to parents and staff on April 22nd. Remember, this year we have non-parent residents who can sign up for listserv to receive Olentangy Schools information. And that group, that listserv, is growing week by week. So that's also a communication channel for us. And then also, we have done media interviews, whether together with Mr. Jenkins and I or separately. So we did an interview with the Columbus Dispatch. I was on the radio. They recorded a segment, which I think will play this weekend, WDLR, and then Mr. Jenkins did an interview with ABC6, I think it was yesterday. So we continue to, again, educate the community because it's extremely important as we work through the next few months before they decide on the final bill that's presented to the governor. So Ohio budget schedule, and I just want to put this up, so moving forward. So next week, they're back in session. So April 28th, so for about 4 to 6 weeks, this will be in the Senate. The Senate testimony begins with Senate committees. Public testimony with Senate Finance, May 26th. Senate floor vote is scheduled for June 12th. June 24th, Conference Committee adopts the final budget report. June 25th, final House and Senate vote on the operating budget. And then June 30th is the legal deadline for the governor's signature. So we've talked a lot about that. When we still have an opportunity and time to continue to tell our story, and again, the impact of the state budget on Olentangy. And we've said it many times, for every dollar we get from the state, one less dollar we have to ask from our local taxpayers. And, you know, I will say this, and it's evident tonight, we produce a really, really, really good product and provide an exceptional student experience for our kids. So we need the continued support in order to continue to do that. So again, we're going to continue to advocate for Olentangy whenever we can. Also, call to action, so I just want to point this out, and Mr. Lester, you had mentioned this. This is located on our website, so stay informed, how people can stay informed on the state's biennium budget. Take action and contact your legislators, and it's really simple. If you go to our district website and you scroll down district news, call to action, we have script templates to just make a phone call. It's going to take about 20 seconds, or you just download a letter, attach it to an email, and we have all of the contact information for state legislators on that page. So, and of course, we're asking for help from community members or staff to help continue to amplify that message and to share what they've learned in these conversations with their friends and neighbors. All right, superintendent action items this evening. So we are excited to recommend 4 new administrators this evening. So Allison Chadwick in the accounting department. That's the recommendation we're going to make. She's coming to us from the private sector, where she's been a lead accountant and senior accountant in the private sector. So we're glad to have her, and we're recommending her to start May 5th. Bridget Chapman, who's a recommendation for Assistant Director of Pupil Services. So Ms. Chapman is coming from Ohio State back to the district. She used to work for the district as a speech pathologist, and she's coming back to the district, so we're excited to have her. Lisa Nemeth, and I know I saw Lisa here, so Lisa, wave. You're with what's your husband's name? Mike. Mike? Congratulations. So we're excited. Miss Nemeth will join Olentangy from Marysville Schools. And she brings with her nearly 2 decades of STEM-related experience as an educator and administrator. So we're extremely happy to have her as a new program administrator of STEM Academy. So we're looking forward to really getting to work with her and how we can continue to propel that program forward in the district. And then Mr. Kevin Sherman, he's there. I saw Kevin, right? All right, so Mr. Sherman. The new principal recommendation at Scioto Ridge Elementary School. Mr. Sherman has been a member of the Olentangy community since 2006. Most recently serves as an assistant principal at Walnut Creek since 2018. So I just want to congratulate all of you in the interview process, because we run a very, very rigorous interview process. And here we're hiring 3 external candidates and 1 internal candidate. And, you know, at the end of the day, when we start these pools, we always look for the best candidate in these pools to best serve the district and who can bring the most value to the district to help us meet our mission. So congratulations to all of you, and welcome to Olentangy. And it's a special place, and you guys will figure that out really quickly. I know, Kevin, you already know that. So, all right. Also, a couple of retirements. Linda Sabo from Walnut Creek, music teacher. And then Kathleen Leppley, food service. So last board meeting, we had over 200 years of service. So we have 2 this time, so 14 years of service, but still, we want to thank them for the wonderful 14 years of service that they've provided to our students and families here in Olentangy. All right, a couple other, this is a big one. I want to start this one. So tonight, you will be approving the class of 2025 seniors for graduation, so the entire class, so approximately 1,800 students that we will see on May 18th at the Schottenstein Center. So obviously pending certification of completion of all the district and state requirements, but just a great day, a culmination really of a fantastic school year. We'll get to honor and recognize all of our seniors during graduation. So you will be approved, I'm recommending the list, and you'll be approving the list tonight. Also recommend approval of the 2025-26 student fees. Dr. Blackley that will be a discussion item tonight where she'll discuss fee recommendations, and then also she will discuss quickly the approval of the curriculum purchases for our literacy adoption, which we had the presentation at the last meeting from Ms. Ford. So that'll be a recommendation for tonight. And then we just have one business management facilities item, declare transportation as impractical for, I think we have a half dozen students or so. And then important dates coming up, senior awards right around the corner, May 5th, 7 p.m. at Adventure Church. Class of 2025 commencement, again, that's May 18th. And it didn't make the slides, but I do have it on the slides on my copy. I want to highlight all of the high school art shows which start this weekend. And again, we have tremendous talent in this district, and when you see the art shows at our schools, unbelievable. So Berlin High School this Saturday, April 26th from 11 to 3. Orange High School Arts Fest, April 27th, 11 to 3. Liberty High School, April 27th, 12 to 4. And then Olentangy High School will be Sunday, May the 4th, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. But it's just great. Just stop in for a half hour and just walk around if you have time on any of these days. If you're driving around, it's just a great thing to just to go and observe and then just see, again, the great talent that we have in our arts programs across the district. So, and then our next Board of Education meeting will be back at OEO in the Berlin Room Thursday, May 8th at 6:30.
Okay, any questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Meyer.
Thank you.
Mr. Jenkins.
Before I get started, I owe one apology to one of my staff members, Dawn Altvader, also does payroll, and for whatever reason, I got excited and left her out. But Dawn wasn't able to be here tonight either, but I didn't want to miss anybody. So we've talked a lot about state funding. Tonight what we want to do is just kind of do a reset to make sure we know where we are with our priorities in the community. It's critical that state reps hear from our constituents. We've talked a lot tonight about what we like about the bill and certainly pieces we don't like about the bill. We've not forgotten that the House's version kind of creates a hybrid fair school funding formula. So while we've said that, hey, we understand that we're going to get more with the House's version through some things like growth supplement for students. We do want to hearken back to the fact that we were very active in the fair school funding formula process to begin with. Do still believe that an inputs-based model is something that will ultimately serve Ohio students in the best manner possible. So we don't want to forget that what we want in our funding formula is that the state share is not decreased. Certainly in the as introduced budget, in the governor's version, our state share was going to drop pretty dramatically. We were going to go to the threshold of 10%. We wanted the current cost to educate to be used, not data sets from 2022. It's kind of hard to tell exactly because the House sort of used the funding for this school year as its start, but then it certainly did not necessarily use the fair school funding formula to determine every piece of the new funding. We get more but it really didn't necessarily follow the fair school funding formula. So some of what we're talking about here in the House's version is sort of hard to tell. All I can say, though, on a positive note, is it is clearly more funding. The simulations were showing in the as introduced that we would actually lose state funding, and we're now not only not losing, but each of the 2 years we would actually gain. So when you combine not losing over the biennium budget with gaining about, I want to say my number is around 5.5 million, it's about a $12 to $15 million difference for the district. But these are still the priorities, not wanting the state share to go lower than it is, in fact, wanting it to be 20%. Fully funding the Fair School Funding Plan with the changes, but really the final bullet point has in many ways moved to the top of the list of things that we need to be very diligent and vigilant with, and that's removing the provision on restricting the cash balances to 30%. It's kind of ironic. This week, the Ohio Auditor of State also announced the financial health indicator dashboards. These will be, as you can see, not only for municipalities, counties, governments, that aren't schools, but it will also be for schools. And it's highly ironic, given the clawback provision, that the second bullet point, pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 3316.03, and these are FAQs taken straight from the Ohio Auditor of State, ODE, and the Auditor of State may declare a school district in fiscal watch or emergency if certain criteria are met. So this coming out this week was kind of interesting. Some would call it serendipitous. What are the indicators? They're going to be a group of dashboards. I think there's 16 different indicators, but it's going to look at things like percentages, ratios. They're going to be gathered from the financial statements. So whereas the clawback provision is going to come strictly from the 5-year forecast, this will actually come from a broader set of data, which will be our financial statements that we file on a GAAP basis at the end of every fiscal year. I know this is a bit wordy, so I'll try to summarize it as quickly as I can. So why do we have the FHI report for each city, county, or school district? We want to recognize early warning signs of fiscal stress, and we want to be as proactive as possible to keep districts from going into caution, watch, or emergency. And then it talks about how it was developed, and it's interesting that the very last sentence in 2024, the Auditor of State used a similar process for schools. They actually would have worked directly with schools that were in caution, watch, and emergency to find look-fors. What is it that is a common set of factors for a public school district that would cause the 3316.03 designation to occur? And certainly what that says as a reminder, fiscal watch per 3316.03 is that your current operating deficit, and remember your operating deficit means your expenses are more than your revenues. So if that operating deficit exceeds 8% of the previous school year's revenue, you're technically in fiscal caution. Now that has to be combined with the inability to pass a levy. The law doesn't necessarily say that ye shall run one, it just says one isn't passed. So I assume, at least until you get into caution or emergency, the board as a body politic would still have the ability to decide when and how and where and if a levy would be run. But just simply looking at the definition then of emergency, it's that same definition, operating deficit exceeds previous year's revenue, but this time it's 15%. And so if you look at it through that lens, we know that the clawback immediately for the 2025-26 school year would exacerbate what we're already forecasting as an operating deficit, and would exacerbate it to the point that it would exceed 15% of this year's revenue. I say this year because we'll be 1 year hence. We would have the same effect in 2026-27 when you look at the deficit portrayed for that year compared to the revenue in 2025-26. So I just stole my thunder on my slide here. What is fiscal emergency? Once a levy has either failed or depending on, all it says in the revised code is once the auditor of state is able to verify that a levy is not going to be in the offing or is going to pass, when you combine that with that operational deficit exceeding either 8 or 15%, it does not say may, it does not say can, it does not say should, it says shall. We've already, as I mentioned, run some numbers to take a look at what this would do across the state. Just strictly using the definition of operating deficit being more than either 8 or 15%, I want to say it would put over 300 public schools across the state, the clawback would, in fiscal caution, fiscal watch or emergency. I think I said it right the first time, fiscal caution or emergency. So we believe that if that happens to us, if we went into emergency, as we noted last time, there's a commission that comes in and controls essentially all aspects of the district's finances, in many ways all aspects of how the district runs on a day-to-day basis. Almost nothing, when you boil it down to it, doesn't have dollars and cents behind it. They can take control of and change contracts. As I mentioned last time, those provisions can supersede the provisions of law can supersede any conflicting provision in a bargaining agreement. It can supersede any conflicting provision in a board policy. The commission enacts solutions that are really about balancing the budget, not necessarily about the things that we prioritize when we're trying to meet the needs of our students and our community. So things like class sizes, staffing, educational programming. I'm sure the commission would say that their goal is to make sure that the finances are right so that those things aren't impacted. But as we know, levies have been approved by members of this community, and they have a certain expectation as to the service levels that we would provide. And so it's pretty natural to assume that those types of service levels would have to be impacted if the commission is here to right size, so to speak, the budget. The irony is not lost on me that on the same night that we're being recognized by the Auditor of State for our fiscal practices, our accountability, our transparency, our willingness to promote to our community, that these resources are being spent in ways that impact 24,000 students, more than all but 3 schools in this state, that we're ready to potentially have a provision of law that would put that same school district in fiscal emergency. It's almost hard to believe. So, questions about those 4 or 5, I'm sorry if they were not the most edifying slides in the world.
I just had a couple of comments or questions. You had indicated that we had worked with legislators to come up with the fair school funding, or at least gave some input. It was sort of a collaborative process. Do you have, and that wasn't necessarily the case with this House Bill 96. Is that accurate?
We provided lots of feedback and input, to be fair, to Mr. Lorenz. We provided our perspectives, believe that he listened. At the end of the day, the pieces that we really wanted in the bill when it came to the fair school funding formula, as mentioned, were sort of hybridized and changed. It's hard not to look at the simulations of funding and not at least be appreciative and happy that we would get more funding. I would even go so far as to say that we worked to submit some amendments to the clawback. The one-size-fits-all approach of there's X percent, whatever that is, we provided our feedback that it should be contextual. Each school district and their, duly elected board members who serve the community, we think should develop those types of policies and procedures in coordination with their community. We believe strongly as a district there is a very good reason why we need right now about a 55 or 60% carryover. We've talked with this body before about planning 4 and 5 years out, staffing, facilities plans. It's entirely possible that a different school district might have different factors that would change their particular situation. We're one of only 85 school districts in the state of Ohio that's growing. So we provided initially the input that this should be something that every local school district should develop policy like we have around. We were told that that probably was just simply not going to be a solution that was viable. So we asked and worked with different percentages. Really, our goal was that, as mentioned, there should be none. When we proposed 75%, it was essentially just totally dismissed. So to be fair, we believe we've been heard. That being said, the end product clearly didn't recognize our priorities the way we wish that it would have.
And I just want to add the piece on the funding, growth factor for districts that are growing like well, no district's growing like Olentangy, but districts growing across the state. We did advocate for a growth factor, a growth supplement in the formula side. So obviously, legislators did listen to that piece, but the clawback provision was just put into the bill with, to me, in the 12th hour, really nobody knew about that. So there wasn't much time to react.
And to your point about us attempting to plan 4 or 5 years down the line, the Fair School funding formula, although it is dependent on the budget cycles, was sort of a long-term plan. Is that right? Like over the course of several years, there's a phase-in.
For the Fair School funding
For the Fair
formula?
School funding formula.
That's correct.
And after this budget cycle for the next 2 years, do we have any idea what their plans are for the future?
No.
Okay,
No.
thank you.
No, and really the House substitute bill, I hate to say that because it looks at the base level of funding and some pieces of what happens for what 26 looks back at are clearly still informed by the Fair School funding formula. But as far as for what you get in 26 and 27, I believe it's section 265.345 of the bill. It's not in the codified provisions of the revised code. It's a section at the end. Essentially says they're going to take a snapshot of the 2024-25 funding. They're then going to give you like half of the gain that you should otherwise get in the first year, and then half of the gain off of the second year over the first year. For us, because we're growing, the supplement allows pretty well our growth. But to your point, Ms. Schreiber, yeah, it was phased in when the formula was first announced in the 21-22 school year. There was only about 16% of the difference in funding formulas that was recognized in any increases. It moved to 33. Last year was 50. This year it's essentially 2/3. Next year, if the Fair School funding formula in its native form and everything that was originally announced and touted to be, it would have moved to 83 1/3%, and then completely fully funded by the 26-27 school year.
Just a question about the political process for the clawback. When did we give our testimony about the clawback before the House folks?
There was no testimony. So the way it was inserted was in the amendment. If there was testimony that week, I don't recall seeing it. We gave testimony early on in February, but it was added as an amendment, and it's awfully difficult to get your bearings about what all the amendments say. So we were unable to testify. I'm not sure there was even an opportunity to testify.
Did anybody, any educators, people that do this for a living, people that get awards for doing school finance, were they asked about their opinion about the clawback before the vote or during the amendment process?
I would have to say yes. We worked with Representative Lorenz. He did know about it. We immediately made contact. He contacted us. We also would have worked with Mr. Lorenz through some of our contacts at the State House. We reached out to Representative Lear. We just weren't able to connect necessarily. We intend to reach out as vigorously as we can to Senator Brenner now that it's gone to the Senate. But I would have to answer that yes, I believe that we had an ear that was at least listening to the points that we were making in Rep. Lorenz.
So just trying to figure out the timeline of when we first heard about the clawback, because they voted on a Tuesday or Wednesday. When did we first hear about the clawback in relationship to the vote?
So literally everyone first heard about the clawback when the omnibus amendments, I believe, were released on the irony of all days, April Fools, April 1st. So it took a day or two. I can actually remember the text from one of our ears at the State House that said, overall funding looks pretty cool. District's going to get more. We got to look into this thing called the clawback. Not sure what that is. So I went home that night, looked into it, and by the next day, Mr. Meyer had already heard, from his group of folks that this is problematic because at that point in time it's 25%. They took a vote, I believe, April 9th. So it was barely a week. When you throw in a weekend, obviously no one's showing up on the weekend. It was maybe 4 or 5 quote unquote business days to decipher, understand, try to provide any feedback. It was nearly impossible.
But no hearings, no public testimony, no opportunity to.
So I hate to speak in absolutes. If there was a committee hearing, or if there was some opportunity for school folks to go testify, I was not aware of it. In fact, I'm reasonably certain that once the omnibus amendments are in place, it just simply goes to the full House to consider within 3, 4, 5 days at most. I know they caucused a couple times, but I don't think anyone was able to testify.
Yeah. Just one brief thing. In your response to Ms. Schreiber's question, you mentioned that we, when in speaking with Representative Lorenz and others, had proposed a system whereby we might work with our local communities to talk about the appropriate level of carryover, and that we were told that that was not feasible. It's not feasible because it wouldn't work, because that's what we've been doing with our communities for the past several decades with great success in what we're doing in terms of financial management. They were saying it was not feasible because that's not what they wanted to do. Is that right?
I like to say that they were disinclined to hear our opinion.
So, obviously, in government, different bodies have different priorities. We understand that they view it differently. I think what we have shown over an extended period of time, as we showed again tonight, is that school districts can do this very well, do it very responsibly, and we are a model of that. And that when you put these artificial lines in that take a district that is getting awards left and right from the outer state and immediately throws it into fiscal emergency, there's something wrong with that. At the basis level, there is something wrong with that.
I would say that it would be hard probably for the average person to picture how you could go from, an award for, a perfectly clean audit. You could go from a district that receives the GFOA award, that awards our ACFR every year. We publish and send out a PAFR. There's nothing about what we do financially that we don't inform our community. In fact, this week a question was raised in an email from a member of the community that I answered, and the question made me want to say, at times when people point those things out and the document that they send that, causes them to say essentially, well, what about this? You guys, the implication is you're not doing something right, and aha, I found this data. Every time, it's data we've published, that we've put out. And I'm more than happy to answer those questions. Certainly reasonable minds can disagree about what ultimately the conclusions are, but there's never been a moment in time, in my opinion, in the last 3 years, at least since I've been here, where a question about a financial number or someone in the community wants more detail, the source that they feed right back to us is what we fed to them.
And I appreciated that thorough response too in that email. Thank you for that.
Yeah, so I'll go off the rails a little bit, but I think this is more symptomatic of and I said it at our last meeting, elections matter. We have a legislative group, whether it's Lorenz, Lear, or Brenner, that don't necessarily advocate or have sufficient influence to change things that we need to change. And as much as we talk about the things that we want, we've got 3 folks that don't listen to us, that don't advocate for us, that don't achieve the things we want to achieve. And so we've got 3 legislators. Frankly, Lorenz is new, has no influence. Lear, anti-public education. Brenner, a career hack that's bounced between the House and the Senate and has done nothing. And frankly, I think the people of Olentangy deserve better. And that's what we should be advocating for, is better legislative representation for the things that we deliver for the Olentangy School District. That isn't happening.
I can only say that we will continue to exhaust every effort. I appreciate your viewpoints, Mr. O'Brien. We will continue while the process works through to contact, Mr. Brenner, contact our senators. That ultimately is where the bill is right now. We've heard some feedback that the Senate has some trouble. We've even heard some feedback from Mr. Brenner himself that he has some issues with the clawback. So understand that each of us obviously are entitled to how we feel about a particular matter. We're going to keep working at it and, try to, as much as we can, get the Senate, including Mr. Brenner, who's always been gracious and had taken the opportunity for Mr. Meyer and I to speak with him. But certainly we all know that there are times where, despite fervent efforts, there's just enough will the other way that it doesn't go necessarily the way you want it to go, and you're correct. So far, at least through the House, it didn't go the way we wanted it to, but we're going to keep fighting. It's not over. Anything else? So what we have then for tonight, our treasurer action items, the board meeting minutes from April 10th, the donations that you see for the Washington, D.C. trip, acceptance of the March monthly financial report, and then updated appropriations. And before we get to any of the action items, we do have one public participation slip. I think it's...
Shall I bring it to you?
Well, I can read aloud. I'll have to cheat. Let me see if I get this right. Rohan Bhatia. Did I get it right? Oh, sorry, it looked like an R. I'm sorry.
And just to be clear, it's 3 minutes is the time limit for this, correct? Thank you.
Nice.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rohan Batra. I'm a current senior at Olentangy High School. I've been a student in this district for many, many years, and with the help of my teachers, family, and incredible educators I've received, I'm fortunate enough to be attending Cornell University next year. Now, it might seem like my time here is winding down, and I could just ride off into the sunset with my blue and gold diploma. But before I do, I want to leave parting thoughts on a policy that affects every single one of our students in this district: class rank. Page 3 of our 2021 to 2022 student handbook clearly states a student's GPA and rank in class shall be entered only on his or her record used for internal purposes, not released without consent. But this policy alone is not enough in my opinion. I believe Olentangy should use class rankings only for scholarship purposes for 2 main reasons. 1, class ranking has destroyed student morale in my own high school, and I'm sure it's similar for our neighboring high schools as well. And second, the value of class ranking and admissions has declined so much that I truly believe that it's actually causing our students to end up in worser universities. As someone who gives my 100% in everything, I've seen how class rank transforms healthy competition into a toxic comparison. A study from the University of Wisconsin at Madison links class ranks to increased stress and depression. At Olentangy, this is more than a statistic. It's my lived reality. Our counselor, Ms. Hamilton, told me that students are taking so many CCP classes to boost their class rank that we see them often fall into depressive episodes. Alfie Khan and Rithik Ankara, both leading education critics for the New York University, say it plainly. Competition drives insanity. In this case, these class rankings are driving insanity. Worser yet, class rank pushes students to choose weighted classes over classes that they find meaningful. One of my friends in a conversation told me he's not going to take a leadership elective next year simply because of the fact that it would drive down his GPA. The current salutatorian told me plainly, the fact that he had to give up all these classes was not worth it. Meanwhile, the value of class rank through college admissions is going down tremendously. The National Association of Secondary School Principals confirms its declining value. When students are continuously focusing on driving up a number, they are not focusing enough on doing stuff of value to actually bolster their chances of attending their dream universities. Behind every single GPA is a story. A student studying while comforting a crying sibling, someone pushing through anxiety, a teen quietly carrying family burdens while trying to smile in class. Class ranking does not see this. Now, students at Mason High School, the number 4 ranked public high school, which has actually made their rankings private, have told me that this policy has increased their levels of happiness and their levels of approval in this school. Let's follow their lead. Let's make ranks private and counselor accessible only for scholarship purposes. This isn't only about lowering your standards, it's about raising humanity for the future of this school district. Let's tell students that they are enough, they are not just numbers, they are people. Thank you.
So, Rohan, as your, no, feel free to step if you want.
We don't usually talk back, but I think we all would maybe have an opportunity to respond, especially Mr. Lester at this point.
So first of all, thank you so much. It's rare that we get students to come and give public participation. It does happen from time to time, but we always value your voice incredibly. One of the challenges of being on a board is we don't work directly with the students in all circumstances, and so understanding the student voice is incredibly important. The topic that you've brought up has been a concern that I think a lot of us have talked about generally in terms of achievement culture and some of the stresses that can come with that. I know it's been a focus as we've looked in our well-being department over time. What I might suggest is, I know Dr. Behrens is here, I see her over there, the lady in the blue outfit. What I might suggest is that you might talk to her briefly, and this could be something that, one, we bring to our mental health and well-being committee to talk a little bit about. It's something we've thought about over the past few meetings about specialized issues in education that may create different forms of stress or other sorts of negative impacts on students. And that's something we'd be very much interested in hearing about. We do have students from each of the high schools on our mental health and well-being committee, specifically to get that student voice, so I know that they would enjoy being part of that discussion. And whenever we can have that come as a student-driven issue, it's one that we very much take seriously. So I would encourage you to maybe add up with Dr. Behrens over there, and if we can get that on one of those agendas, we'd be happy to do it. But in the meantime, I really appreciate your thoughtfulness around the impact on your peer students, as well as on just the culture of the school itself. It's always something where we want to achieve well, we want to have high standards, but we don't want to harm people in the process.
Agree with that 100%, and I'd just like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to give and speak my voice here today.
I'm just very impressed with how well researched and how much time and effort you clearly put into this topic, and it's one that's very, very important, and something that I've certainly seen is some of the unintended consequences of such a high achieving district, maybe that toxic achievement culture that we certainly want to try to combat. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
What are you studying at Cornell?
Business.
Good for you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
All right, so we are moving then to our first discussion item, which is the student fees. Dr.
Student
Blackley.
fees. And I, for sure, before you go, I can see him heading out. And you can reach out to, I'm Michelle Blackley, the Chief Academic Officer, but I'd love to chat with you. Okay. Always great to hear from our kids, right? Their lived experience, so thank you. Thanks, good evening, board members. My first discussion item I have for you is a rationale for the changes in student fees. That tonight we're asking for your approval on those changes. As you might imagine or guess, the reason for most of our changes are due to inflationary pressures and particularly the cost of groceries affecting our family and consumer science courses. And then we're also seeing an increase in advanced placement testing fees in all subject areas, which is of course out of our control. At the middle school, we do have an increase in cost in some consumables, but you know, as we continue to make decisions from the lens of cost savings and cost avoidance in every opportunity we can, this is an example of where the middle school art teachers came together and did an assessment of supplies and realized that across the middle schools we do have enough supplies that there was no need to add the fee this year. And additionally, in 7th grade digital creation, the change in the curricular focus, we realized we didn't need that fee. Of course, elementary school fees will remain at 0 with no proposed changes. The other thing that we were looking to change is a clarification, really. We have a $25 fee for competitive clubs, like debate club, In the Know. That is actually changing to $25 per event. Are there any questions on this item?
Just a history lesson, am I right in remembering that there used to be elementary fees?
Mm-hmm.
And they're
Yes.
no longer? Okay.
Yes.
$35, correct.
I do think it's important to put the fees in context, right? So, paid and participant fees. So for us, for Olentangy, if you have a student in activities, it's $80.
$80, yes.
Hilliard's 100, Worthington's 125, Westerville's 150, Gahanna's 200, Reynoldsburg is 500. And so I think we've done a really good job of keeping our fees in check.
Absolutely.
And not using fees as a way of kind of backdooring a levy, right? So we're really trying to keep the fees very reasonable. And I think at $80, and I have 4 girls go through that played sports that we pay fees, and it feels like you're getting feed to death. But at the end of the day, our fees are very reasonable relative to other school districts and what other districts are doing. So I commend the administration on keeping these fees very reasonable.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so now tonight I'm going to ask you to consider approving our proposal for literacy resources, which will be a total cost to the district of $2,755,336.72. And I realize that it is a significant and substantial ask and a financial commitment of the district. So tonight, I just want to take a few moments to give you some more information. Number one, to explain to you the why. Why are we making this substantial purchase? Number two, what are some specific details about that purchase? And then lastly, what are some cost savings, cost avoidance strategies that we put into place with this process? First, I just would like to remind the board that Ohio Revised Code states that we did need to align our English language arts resources to the science of reading. The law also further stated that we can only use core curriculum from the list of resources established from the state. So therefore, to align to that state law, the state requirement, we do need to adopt a core literacy program. So tonight I'm asking that the board approve the purchase of Benchmark Advance as our core literacy program and 95% phonics core, the phonics core program. Some other information I think that's important to know with such a substantial size request is that Benchmark Advance is a core curriculum that will be used in all 17 of our elementary buildings, and almost 10,000 Olentangy students in grades K-5 will use that curriculum. The purchase is actually a 3-year subscription and contract, 3 years worth of digital resources and student consumables. So the total cost for the 3 years is $2,190,425.42. We were able, knowing this was coming down the pike, the curriculum department did a great job at budgeting, so we are splitting that cost over 2 quotes, one for fiscal year 25, and then the second part of that purchase coming out of our fiscal year 26 budget. The 95% phonics program, and 95% is the name of it, so it sometimes gets confusing.
Yeah, I was wondering what the other 5%.
It gets confusing, right? So it's the 95% is the name of the program. It does benefit over 3,500 students in grades 4 and 5 across 17 elementary buildings. Again, this is also a 3-year purchase, and that total cost is $564,911.30. Note, though, and yet another way that we as a curriculum team are looking at cost savings, cost avoidance, it was determined we already use Foundations as a phonics program in the district. It is on the state-approved list, so we will continue to use that K-3, and there will be no additional phonics program purchased at this time for those grade levels. So lastly, again, being such a large purchase, I did want to give you an opportunity to see why the 3-year contract was chosen. Benchmark Advance, actually, if we purchased it annually, its initial cost would be $2 million, with a yearly renewal fee of $610,000. So over 3 years, that would cost the district $3.22 million. Also, if we purchased the Benchmark Advance annually, teacher training, and that would be 25 days of teacher training, would be an additional $77,000 each year for that training. So the 3-year benchmark proposal that I bring to you today, that 3-year contract, it not only includes the 25 days of teacher training, but then it also saves the district $1,220,000 in potential costs. Additionally, with a multi-year contract with a 95% phonics program, we received a 15% discount and also fixed cost on our resources for the next 3 years. Thank you for allowing me to give you an overview on our request.
And board, I'd also want to point out so that Mr. Jenkins, correct me, we talked about this, the state did provide $990,000 towards the adoption, the new adoption, correct?
How much?
$990,000.
That's correct.
Who's paying the rest?
We are, but, you know, I did want to point that state did contribute.
Well, and I think it's important to understand with this stuff, it's not like there's a version of this out there that costs $50, right? I mean, it's any...
There's not open source.
Right, and we're not buying for one elementary school. Like I said, we're buying for almost 10,000 students.
Right. So, I mean, there are costs here no matter which program we identified. And so it's trying to find the one that works best for us and that we can be as fiscally responsible. But these are going to be large purchases no matter which option we go with.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And we save money because this is multi-year, correct?
That is correct.
Would that be more
We're saving,
difficult
yes.
with the carryover limits?
Yeah.
Yeah, and without being able to plan more than 2 years out.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dr.
Everything we
Barker.
do, planning-wise, becomes exponentially harder with that provision.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks. All right, Mr. Jenkins, the treasurer consent action items.
Let me get back there. I was looking for research on the amount of money from House Bill 33. It was tucked away in the last biennium budget to provide. I was looking for the amount per pupil. I guess I could divide backwards and figure that out, but that's where it came from, the 990,000.
It's impressive that you can divide both backwards and forwards. So
Yes.
It's great.
It's just the
On the
reciprocal.
fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see it divided by 0.
So tonight's treasurer consent action items, per usual, will be presented to you all as one single agenda or calendar, asking you to vote on them all at once. But the items for your consideration would be item A, which is the April 10th board meeting minutes. Item B, the donation is noted in the treasurer's report. Item C, recommending the acceptance of the March 25 financials. Item D, the revised appropriation measure for FY25. And again, I am presenting items A through D as one single motion and action, unless any member of the board would like to pull an item or items out for further deliberation.
All right, would anyone like to pull any of those out for separate deliberation? All right, hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the entire slate of consent action items?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, Mr. Jenkins.
Dr. Davrico?
Yes.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mr. Lester?
Yes. All right, Mr. Maya, the superintendent consent action items.
Thank you, Mr. Lester. Board members, I recommend approval of the following superintendent consent action items A through J. A, specific human resource items administrative. B, specific human resource items certified staff. C, specific human resource items supplementals. D, specific human resource items classified. E, specific human resource items classified substitutes. And with a big star, F, the class of 2025 seniors for graduation. G, 2025-26 student fees. H, student overnight and out-of-state field trips. I, the curriculum purchases for literacy adoption. And J, business management and facilities item of impractical transportation. I'm asking you to approve these items by one single action and vote unless you'd like to discuss any of these items separately.
All right, would anyone like to hear these separately? Maybe reading all the names for graduation? Okay, no interest, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the entire slate of consent action items.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
I would say congratulations to all the new hires, but a little shout out, Mr. Sherman, welcome to Cider Ridge. There's 3 crazy girls going into 3rd, 4th, and 5th next year. Be warned.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, please call the roll.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mr. Lester?
Yes.
Dr. Davrico?
Yes.
All right, I will now entertain a motion to enter into executive session as permitted by Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22G1, to discuss the employment or compensation of a public employee. And I'll just note that we will not be taking any action other than to adjourn when we return. So can I have a motion?
So moved.
A
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, Mr. Jenkins.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mr. Lester?
Yes.
Dr. Davrico?
Yes.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
All right, we are going to executive session.
Better bring my purse with me. I don't want it to
9:56 PM. We're coming back from executive session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Quick now.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, please call the roll.
Mr. Lester?
Yes.
Dr. Daberco?
Yes.
Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Abstain.